to Brawlers. I am Clarice.
Stand by for countdown. Prepare audience for...
And I am Natalie. Welcome to another episode of Movie vs. Book, where we will be talking about The Road.
The Road is a post-apocalyptic story of a father and a young boy traveling south after an unknown disaster.
There is the book, written by Cormac McCarthy, and the movie, produced by John Hillcoat.
If you read the book and later saw the movie, you would know that these are nothing alike.
But if you watched the movie before reading the book, you've made a huge mistake. But always keep in mind, never judge a book by its movie. In a movie, many things are handed to you. You know the characters, or at least their personalities.
You can clearly see the setting, how everything looks.
And most importantly, you see how things are done and said.
On the other hand, a book leaves more space for imagination.
Maybe you know how a character looks, but you can imagine how they speak and how they act.
You also know the setting because of the descriptions given, but you can build on it. Maybe imagine that there is more fire on the horizon.
And then with certain scenes, you can come upon them with a whole different idea. Maybe deciding on the scene, if someone dies, it can be sadder to you. Something like that.
While reading The Road, you can create your own perspective.
If you watch it, there isn't much place to do so, since your mind takes for fact what it sees.
So besides a book giving space for your own perspective, there are times when the movie simply is a bad adaptation.
Maybe the movie was terrible, but you will never know how the book is if you don't give it a chance.
As far as you know, it's a Pulitzer Prize-winning book.
Percy Jackson, a young adult novel written by Rick Riordan.
Looking at it from the outside, the book was rated 4.5 out of 5 in comparison to the movie, which was rated 2.9 out of 5.
So, if you watch the movie and say, wow, I really don't want to read the book, you are missing out.
For example, the main character in the Percy Jackson movie is 16, while in the book, he's barely 12.
Having an age difference like this really takes the meaning from a novel, at times making it seem like certain actions are ridiculous. Ring a bell, Mr. Fondre? I thought so.
This is exactly what happens in The Road. In the book, the kid was around 6 years old, while in the movie, he looked minimum 9 or 10.
As a matter of fact, the actor Cody Smith McPhee was around 13 when the movie first came out.
Of course, when you look at any 12-year-old that is as whiny and as annoyingly curious as that kid, you will immediately dislike him.
But in the book, these are different.
For starters, the boy is way younger, around 6 or 5, so it gives a bit of an excuse for these behaviors.
Most importantly, the boy doesn't really behave like this in the book.
He's still curious and he still complains, but he's actually aware of what is going on in the world. He doesn't seem completely clueless.
For example, on page 86 of the book, the father asks his son if he wants to read a story, and the boy says, no, quote unquote, those stories are not true.
The boy isn't the only inaccurately portrayed thing in this movie. Many scenes are missing, and the ones that are there are in a different order.
Now you have space for
imagination.
You shouldn't judge a book by its movie, since many times these adaptations change things. So we challenge you, Fondre, to do this.
Open the book up with the idea that it is different to what you saw on the screen.
Think you can? Prove it.
We hope you enjoy Cormac McCarthy's words. And if you don't,
you can always complain to us. Or not.